Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. The number 2 versus the number 3 in the featherweight division of the UFC. God, why are these fights starting so good? Now, we've seen both Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega in the octagon, and honestly, I am very excited for this matchup. Before we get into the video, I just want to ask you guys a question, and maybe this is just me. When you think of Brian Ortega, do you think of the color blue? And when you think of Yair Rodriguez, do you think of the color green? I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just being weird and I don't know how it correlates to me like that. But do you guys relate with me, or am I just the odd one out? Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez in UFC Fight Night happening July 16th. I'm excited for it. I'm honestly excited for it. I don't know how else to say it besides just pure excitement. This is going to be another fight in the UFC featherweight division. So let's just take a look at the records before we get into the video. Brian Ortega is currently at 15 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest. Yair Rodriguez is currently at 14 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. One of the cool things about these two fighters is that they've both gone against Max Holloway, but they both lost. Yair's fight against Max Holloway was outstanding. 2 strikers going at it the entire time. Everything was on the table and they were getting really creative with it. Yair Rodriguez was getting very creative with it. There were some things that you just didn't see coming. And Brian Ortega has a phenomenal ground game. His jiu-jitsu is just out of this world, and we got to see that against the fight against Alexander Volkanovski. Ortega has definitely been one of those fighters that gave Alexander Volkanovski a very hard time in that octagon. He was honestly one of the closest fighters to take out Alexander Volkanovski when he's in his reign of the UFC. This close. At first, he got him in a guillotine. Somehow, some way, Alexander decided to say no, and he just got out of it. And then they got back up, and Brian Ortega decided to get him in a triangle successfully. He got him in a triangle, but then Volkanovski decided to say no and got out of it, and then he pummeled his face in. But the way that Ortega got to that first submission with that guillotine, he jumped onto him like a spider, wrapped his hand around his neck, and got that squeeze in. I honestly thought this was one of the first times that I had seen Alexander Volkanovski and thought, dang, this is the end to Alexander Volkanovski. I was so impressed by that performance by both of them, because wow, for somebody to even step into the octagon with Alexander Volkanovski is insane. To almost submit this dude is crazy as shit. Both Yair and Brian have been in some wars in the UFC, and I know that I said that a lot of times on some other UFC fighters, but then again, like, how could I not say that same thing about these two fighters? These two fighters have been in some wars. We've seen it in the past. They performed their asses off, and I'm honestly excited to see what's going to happen on Saturday. Ortega has been known for his jiu-jitsu. Some UFC fighters have even come and said that Ortega has some of the best jiu-jitsu that they've ever seen in the UFC. Some UFC fighters even say that he has the best jiu-jitsu game in the UFC. And for a pro MMA fighter to say that, it's gotta mean something. But then again, we also saw how Yair's striking was against Max Holloway. Max Holloway is a striker. That's what he's best at. His striking is just on a whole other level. For Yair to compete with that very, very close, honestly, great fight between the two. So you never know what to expect from this dude. So we have a striking specialist and we have a submission artist. Who's gonna win between the two? My answer to you is I don't know. And I don't even know who to go for. It's not like I can pick a favorite in this two. They're both great fighters. I'm a fan of both of them. I'm just excited to see a great fight between the two. Both are amazing fighters. Both have that Mexican blood in them. I don't know who to go for. So my answer is I'm not going for anyone. I'm just looking forward to a great fight between these two. But if I had to lean towards one of these fighters, I think that I would have to go with Brian Ortega. Not that Yair is like inferior to him, I'm just saying, I honestly don't know the reason. I just think Brian Ortega might be a little bit better of a fighter compared to Yair Rodriguez. But we shall see Saturday, July 16th on ESPN UFC Fight Night. Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. The number 2 and the number 3 in the featherweight division. Ortega needs to take it to the floor as soon as possible. I don't think that Ortega can let Yair get in that flow state while he's striking, because once he's in there, it's hard to get him out. So my advice, take it to the floor and finish it quickly, because you don't want to go 5 rounds with this dude. Not without some serious damage. Will this be a striking match? Will this be a ground game match? Who knows? Who do you guys think is going to win this fight? Comment down below. I'm very interested to see what you guys are thinking, because it's a very hard matchup to predict. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys happen to enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to turn on your post notification bells and comment down below again. Who do you guys think is going to win this fight on Saturday? Check out the Kickback podcast over on YouTube, and I shall catch you guys all in the next video.